Hey everybody, welcome to Sup Holmes. I'm back. I'm doing it again. Yep, doing another episode of it. This is the third one. And this week we are so lucky. So lucky. To have the guys from Gaijin Games, Mike Roush and Alex Neuse. Say hello, guys.
Hello, guys.
How are you? It's good seeing you.
We are so happy to see you. Jonathan Holmes, how are you?
I am all right. I feel a little self-conscious today because my beard is darker than the hair on the top of my head, and I tried to shape it so the bald spots are symmetrical. But I'm not a facial hair guy. It doesn't fit for me. I feel kind of like you know Ricky from My So-Called Life.
No.
Oh, he's the lovable, effeminate, homosexual stereotype.
Oh.
Yeah, now you know him. When he grew up later to try to look tough, but he's still not tough, he grew a beard like this. And I feel like I'm trying to look tough, but I'm not tough. But I have to grow the beard because I'm going to be a dad in a video.
Wow, congratulations. That's amazing.
How did you do it?
They're probably just going to shoot the back of my head, too, and like have a single tear roll down into my beard, and that'll be it. It'll be 2 weeks of beard growing just for one scene. But I was flattered. It's the second music video I'll be in, actually. I was in the music video for the rock and roll band Freeze Pop. Have you heard of that band?
No, but I do like a good freeze pop. But blue raspberry.
Oh, those are delicious.
Otter Pops.
Do you remember Pepsi Blue?
Oh, yeah.
And Otter Pops.
Yeah.
What's the deal with blue raspberry? I mean, I guess they just had too many red flavors, but blue raspberry is weird.
No.
Yeah, it's totally unnatural, but that's what I like about it. I like Tang as well. So anyway, we should talk about the video games. You guys make video games, and that's part of why you're on the show. I would have had you on anyway, but you're very experienced video game developers. How long have you been making video games for again?
82 years.
Actually, that's not
You-
bullshit.
You laugh, but Mike will explain this.
So I added up today our team, how long our team has been making video games.
Like the sum total.
The sum total of everyone's experience in the industry, and it was 82 years. But keep in mind, we have a 9-person team now.
Yeah.
Yeah, you were a three-man team to start,
Yes.
and then you lost a man to techno music, kind of, and then you gained 7 men since then?
We're collecting men.
We're like Paul Schaefer's hit, It's Raining Men. We actually also have a female.
Aha.
I saw her in your developer video. She seemed very friendly and
She's
open,
right. She's super
chatting.
She's
fantastic.
Can I meet the whole team sometime? Can you just
Oh.
come down there?
Absolutely.
GDC.
Yeah.
UDC, I hope I can go.
You bet.
Trying to get in there.
All right.
If
well,
not, I'll just show up.
if you go, our office is
2 blocks.
2 blocks
From
from
Moscone.
Moscone. So come over and meet the whole crew.
And we have a caterer.
Thanks so
Yeah,
much.
we will have homebrew beers for a fellow with a beard like yours to drink.
So I have to keep the beard, rats.
You have to keep.
My Ricky list.
The mustache.
I don't want to see you in our office unless you have the beard or the mustache.
I want to see you with a Tom Selleck mustache.
Actually, I just want to see you with Tom Selleck.
Don't change.
He's available. He's not working right now, so I'll give him a call.
It's awesome.
So you guys, you're most famous for the Bit Trip series, and you're working on a new Bit Trip game, which
That's
is
we have made some
Oh.
films. We have
Future.
Mike, we're not going to mention the Swedish films today.
It's the Rhythm Alien. It's the Future Rhythm Alien Adventure Runner 2. What's it called again? Oh, I suck.
It's called.
It's called.
Future Legend of Rhythm Alien.
Now, is that because isn't when they put Runner in Japan, didn't they rename it something like that? Something really weird?
Check if that's really what it's called.
Yep, that's what it's called.
That's what it's called.
Didn't they call Runner something like that in Japan?
Yeah, they did.
It was
It was.
a flat-out run of the Rhythm Alien, which
so
is
good.
pretty awesome.
So this is our homage to the Japanese culture, and also it just sounds badass. I think.
Yeah, it sounds very good. It's a pain though when I write articles about your story. We have like a cap on how long our headlines can be, and I can never fit it. So I just call it Runner 2. Is that okay?
Just call it
Flora. Just call it Runner 2 Flora.
I will do that from now on, official. And it's kind of a reinvention of Runner, which was the 4th game in the Bit Trip series, which is crazy to me because the entire Bit Trip series reinvented itself with almost every game. Bit Trip Flux in particular, when that one came out, comparing that to where you started with Beat, I couldn't even believe it was the same series, and yet they all shared a core that was unique to the series and consistent within each game of the series. They felt like Bit Trip games. You pulled that off. That's why I wanted to invite you on the show today, because I consider you guys experts on keeping the core of your game the same, yet reinventing it and adding new flourishes and evolving it in ways that make it feel fresh. And that's something I don't think that a lot of developers can do. I think you're better than a lot of developers. Is that guess up talk? I just think you are. Sorry.
That's nice. That's nice.
I mean, really, have you played Resident Evil 5? Did you guys like that?
I didn't.
No.
I played it for a minute, and I decided that I don't want to play that game.
I didn't.
Now, they got that wrong, in my opinion, in terms of trying to evolve the series. It was like it was an attempt to conform to what was popular at the time, and in the process, they kind of sacrificed the soul of Resident Evil in the process. It's a very well-made game, but it doesn't feel like a Resident Evil game, and therefore it's a disappointment when you play it, because you expect Resident Evil, and instead you get steroid action movie. Bummer.
We played through the demo at work, I believe. I think we played through that together with Danny, maybe. And whereas I did enjoy it, I didn't feel it was necessary for me to play it.
Huh. Like there was no new information for you to be gleaned from that?
It didn't compel me. Whoops. I got, there we go. Keep going.
You got a friend?
No. He definitely doesn't have a friend. I can attest to that.
I've got automatic shit popping up all over my computer. Okay.
No.
But here's the deal with Runner 2, is that you're right. We are trying to reinvent it a little bit. I think we're basically trying to make the Runner game that people on other platforms than we didn't get to play. So
right.
It was on WiiWare, right? And at first, and as we all know, WiiWare kind of...
It wasn't the most popular service
right.
on Earth, unfortunately.
Which is a bummer, because there are a lot of good games on WiiWare. But that meant that a lot of people didn't get to experience Runner. Then when we brought it out on Steam, we got a lot of positive feedback. And honestly, it was the game we liked working on the most of the 6-bit trip games. So we wanted to do a sequel and just give it a brand new coat of paint and, I don't know, a few new features. Certainly there's some new stuff, but...
Yeah, there's one thing about, throughout our whole process making the Bit Trip games, it's the one question we've got more than anything was, XBLA, PSN. We want to play, people will just flat out not play Wii or PC games. They just, and that's fine. But when you receive that question a couple thousand times, then all of a sudden you start thinking maybe we should put it on those platforms.
Yeah.
Right. So, but you didn't want to do a straight port. You wanted to give something new to everybody. So people who've played the WiiWare game, it's a whole new experience. It's a sequel, more or less, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, it is.
The other thing is we really did make the original Bit Trip games for WiiWare. We don't necessarily know if they would straight port very well to a XBLA or PSN. I mean, we could pull it off, but is that the right decision?
Is that really what those platforms want? And I kind of think, in a true HD platform, the platform itself wants a bigger, more, I don't know, rounded out experience. So
right. So how do you prevent from pulling a Resident Evil 5 and just kind of taking Resident Evil 4 and making it more appropriate for the platform, but worse in the long run? Because you're kind of doing that with Runner 2. It's kind of a Resident Evil 4 to Resident Evil 5 step. That's how it looks, anyway.
Yeah.
Or stop me if I'm wrong.
No, that's a good analogy.
Oh, thanks.
How do we do that?
How do you not screw up? How do you just do a good job?
So, I'll tell you how we don't screw up. Is we have to, on our end, we have to hold up our bargain to make a good game, and I think what we're doing for Runner 2 is we're keeping the heart of Bit Trip, and we're just changing up things that we want to change up. But it's the game's soul is still there, and the bit trip soul is there, and
Well,
we're not changing it. Like, we're not going to make Runner 2 a first-person runner,
Sure.
or
Shooter.
like an action adventure,
adventure, and
Like, I kind of feel like Resident Evil 5 stopped being a survival horror, game and turned into an action game.
Right. So what I'm taking is you're looking at what people like on those platforms and trying to appeal to it without completely selling your soul in the process and going for a cash grab and just making a first-person shooter called Runner 2. Is that right?
Well, definitely, yeah. And I
Would you ever make a first-person shooter? My friend McNyers asked. He said he wants you guys to make a first-person shooter. How would you go about that? Have you given that any thought?
with computers is how we would go about doing that. No, we want to make a first-person shooter, but
we want to do all kinds of stuff.
the thing is, we want to do. I mean, I don't know. We haven't talked about this in a long time, but I kind of want to make one game in every genre.
Mm-hmm.
But I don't know shit about. Can I say shit?
Oh, sure. Yeah, we swear all the time on this channel.
Oh, fucking sweet. I don't know shit about sports games, for instance. So, we probably wouldn't make one.
We could make a baseball game. That would be fun. If I was going to do a first-person shooter, it would probably be relatively akin to Quake 3, which was my all-time favorite game ever. Because
What'd you say? Which game? Breakthrough?
Quake 3.
Quake 3.
Oh, Quake 3. Breakthrough's good.
We need to sit closer to the mic.
I like it when I like you getting real close.
I like you.
I do.
I think it would be fun. I don't know if we're ever going to do it.
Yeah.
But it would be
Yeah. Well, in general, I wanted to talk to you guys about reinvention because I think you're experts on it. But do you feel like you're experts enough if I just start lobbing questions at you about the way other people have made their games and made their consoles?
How about you lob questions, and by the end of it, we'll tell you if we think we're experts based on.
Awesome. Yeah. Why not? We'll just put you to the test.
I don't think we're experts at anything personally.
Yeah, me neither. I think we just fumble through the darkness.
We're just men. We're only men.
We just try
But
that.
there's been you're world renowned. I'm pretty sure you're award winning as well.
Oh, we're
I
award.
gave you.
We're award.
Yeah.
I don't know about world renowned.
I knew an old man, and he told me that you just tell everyone that you're a world expert, and before you know it, you're on panels and you're getting free stuff sent to you. Because there's no way to disprove being a world expert.
We are world
Yeah.
exports.
We are world exports. Please send your free stuff to our office in Santa Cruz.
I got some wasabi Kit Kat from a world export.
I've been wanting this.
Yeah.
I've been
Straight
wanting
from
this.
Japan.
I do not want that.
I want that.
I want green tea Kit Kats though. I've had those. Very good.
That's what I thought it was. I didn't bother to read the Japanese. I can read a smidge. And I figured, this will be mint or this will be green tea. Who would think wasabi, right? And it burned my face and my body. My whole body burned. All right, so let's start with Metal Gear Rising: Revengeance, because I have a strong feeling about this game coming out. And I'm pretty sure you guys are fans of the Metal Gear series. Am I right?
A little bit.
Nah.
Not too much?
Well, I'm actually playing through the original Metal Gear right now with a buddy of mine, Tim Longo from LucasArts, who still owes us. Tim. Anyway,
What does he owe you for? Don't
Dude,
tell me. That's
He owes us a slot machine.
he owes us a Tomb Raider slot machine.
That's great. Does he owe me a Tomb Raider? Can I just tell him he owes me a Tomb Raider slot machine?
You have to earn it.
You have
You
to
have
earn
to earn
it,
it, Jonathan.
like we did. We earned it.
We earned it.
He said we could get any game we want.
He
Any
challenged.
Tomb Raider game.
He challenged the world, the whole entire population of the Earth, to a challenge, and we were the first.
What?
Yes, and we were the first ones to answer every single question correctly. And he said your reward is any Tomb Raider game of your choice. So we chose the Tomb Raider slot machine.
He worked for Crystal
He worked-
Dynamics
yeah.
at the time.
And
We chose that.
and Tim Longo
And you know what we got?
has yeah.
I think we got a PS2 Tomb Raider 3.
No,
We got
I don't
something.
think anything.
We got something ridiculous. Like,
Yeah.
It was not the slot machine.
It was not any Tomb Raider game you want. So that's a bummer. Where were we? I'm
asking
playing.
your question.
I'm playing Metal Gear with him, and I have watched or played most of the Metal Gear games, and I can't say that I'm a fan. Although, did you see the lights just go out?
I did. It was dramatic.
Although I will play them, and just to see what they're all about. So, what is this new game? Metal Gear.
Well, Metal Gear Rising: Revengeance, as produced by Platinum Games, who are formerly of Clover Games. They did Bayonetta, Mad World, Infinite Space, that sort of thing. To me, let me give you a quick recap of where I'm coming from. Resident Evil and Metal Gear both have their core tied to Pac-Man. They're both, keep those sons of bitches away from me. If I'm going to have to take out any enemies, it's going to be of a huge risk to myself in the process, which is what I think makes Pac-Man so infinitely compelling, because you're always running away from enemies, and until that split second you have to be brave and eat the power pellet and run after them before they turn around and kill you. It's always risky. So there's tension throughout, and Resident Evil works on that principle, because you're always trying to keep the enemies away from you, and the only way to kill them is to stop, which puts you at risk of them coming at you and getting you. Stopping, moving in Resident Evil puts you in danger. And with Metal Gear, similar. The only way to get rid of enemies is to sneak up on them and to either knife them in the back or to stun them. And if you stun them, their corpses can be found by other enemies. You have to pick them up and carry them around. So it's putting you at great risk. So they're games about risk and games about survival. Pac-Man, Resident Evil, Metal Gear are all like that. And the new Metal Gear is just a guy with a sword who cuts a guy's head off and then cuts his body off and then cuts his arm off after the head has been removed. Yeah, it's nice, but is it Metal Gear?
Highlander is what it is.
Well, I'll also tell you the word revengeance isn't real.
What about the word revengeance?
It's not a real word.
If the game was just called Revengeance, I would be ecstatic.
Is revengeance a real word? We're looking this up right now to find out.
I will tell you that it's not. It's like Beautiful. These are the people that brought you Beautiful and God Hand.
I like Beautiful.
I like Beautiful, and I think I will like Revengeance as well. But I'm disappointed that this might be the direction that the Metal Gear series is going. And Resident Evil 6, it's now a walking, like strafing and rolling and shooting third-person shooter instead of
a fine line between like just continually remaking,
yes,
and then it's like breathing new life into something or trying. You kind of have to give them props for trying. However, when you do it with just slashing people's heads off, that is I don't
know, it could be cool.
That is a risk, I think. But trying something new, especially for like a series that, I mean, they could just continue going on making the same boring gameplay. I'm not saying it's boring, but
doing the same thing over and over.
Yeah, it'll get boring if it's the same game every time.
Yeah.
And I think they've actually done a really good job in mixing it up with Metal Gear. The first one.
I get bored with them is the thing.
Okay.
But I think I'm giving them props for trying something new, because at least for me, I like it when there's a revengeance is a real word. It's like vengeance only again. It's like revengeance. Okay, so anyhow, I like it when I love a franchise, and before it gets too old or samey, they try something new. I have a couple examples, and I know this is going to be controversial, but I happen to like Metroid Prime quite a bit.
The first one.
Yeah, and I thought I was going to completely hate it because they went first person. I was so angry when they announced it was going to be first person, but in the end, I thought it was a very good Metroid game. Now, I still prefer the 2D side-scrolling Metroid, but I definitely also enjoy this other flavor. Also, Dirge of Cerberus. I loved Dirge of Cerberus, but Final Fantasy VII and Final Fantasy, it was not. And so, if they make a good game, then it's going to be good. But if they botch it, then it's going to be extra bad. It's going to be really
It's going to be like botulism?
The rebotulism.
The rebotulism.
You used the old, unbiased, non-fanboy logic against me. The old, if it's a good game, it's good.
Yes.
And if it's a bad game, almost every video game discussion boils down to that. So, touche. However, do I have the right? Do I have am I right in saying that if they call it a Metal Gear game, it should be like a Metal Gear game? It should have that core Metal Gear
You are a bad
thinking.
man. You're a bad man.
Because Metroid Prime, though it was first person, it was still very much about platforming. It was about being in an environment that you didn't necessarily have to fight the enemies in. It was like kind of like National Geographic is to aliens. That's what I loved about the first Metroid. There's little guys crawling around. You don't have to shoot them. You can just avoid them.
Yeah.
Or you can just look at them, or you can kill them. Metroid Prime did the same thing. Really put you in a place that felt like a true natural environment, let you explore it with platforming and with shooting. And that's why that game worked. Whereas Revengeance, I didn't see any sneaking. That's kind of the core of Metal Gear. It's sneaking.
What if this is a story that doesn't really involve sneaking? I mean, there's plenty of stuff in the Metal Gear world that happens that isn't done by Solid Snake. And I'm sure some of it does not involve sneaking. So what if this is a side of that world you haven't seen before?
Okay.
It happens to be a side where it's about cutting people's heads and bodies off.
Well, also, this is my opinion. I don't think a franchise should be bound by the mechanic necessarily. Like someone that has, for our franchise, for instance, again, you can make a good game with different mechanics in the same story.
Right.
So that's my feeling. I do agree. The game's gonna suck.
I think so too.
It's gonna be a piece of shit.
I think the game is going to be a poop.
I know what you're saying. I get what you're saying. I'm just saying, let.
Well, but
it could.
You
it
caught
could possibly.
You caught Jonathan Holmes. Because he just praised us for doing different things the whole series.
Well, that's why I brought you guys on the show, because you are the only developers that I can think of. Maybe there's some I don't know, who managed to defy keeping the same mechanic in every series. And Dtoid Core really threw people off. I played that with Anthony Birch for review for Dtoid in 2009 already. And at first we were both like, what the hell is this? We wanted more Dtoid Beat. But it only took maybe 10 minutes to get adjusted and to fall in love with it. And that's still one of my favorite Dtoid games, if not my favorite. So you are the guys who are supposed to tell me how you can switch up your mechanic and yet keep the spirit alive. Please, tell me. Just tell me. How do you do it?
I think just don't make a shitty game and don't compromise the franchise.
There's no secret here.
If you're
make a good fucking game.
Yeah, if you're true to the franchise and the characters and the world and the series as a whole, and you don't botch the game, then you win, man. I mean,
okay.
Don't.
But specifically, when you guys made the Dtoid games, you decided to keep something about them. To me, it's the connection between the music, the controls, and the graphics. There's kind of a three-way feedback loop between the music, the controls, and the way they look.
Of themes.
Yes, indeed. And that's true of every game in the series. Did that something you consciously decided to do, right? Or did that just come naturally to you as artists?
I think maybe a little bit of both, but we did think about it a lot.
We had gone through, and we had actually, in all the time that we had to do the Dtoid series, we actually cut all kinds of weird shit, because we would sit there and say, that doesn't work, and
well, that's too heavy-handed, like we're trying too hard in this case, or something like that.
So that's the thing, is like, being smart enough to get rid of things that don't work.
That's one of the things I think that we as a team do pretty well, is that we're not afraid to cut features and just remove stuff from the game. And
for instance, like Fate looked completely different than it looks now. It was
wasn't it originally Dtoid Party?
Yeah.
Oh god,
that was a long time ago.
But the art style was different. There were spaceships. There were
Sugar bears? Dead serious. I heard there were sugar bears in that game at one point.
Yes, there were sugar bears.
I couldn't keep a straight face to that.
Okay.
I don't even know what we're doing.
Yeah.
We were talking about keeping the core of your series the same throughout. You guys are you're making it sound so easy. I gotta be honest.
Make sure everyone had the chat open so that he's paying attention.
Oh yeah, I like the chat.
What is going on?
Let me get in there. Oh yeah. Oh hey. There's a whole chat going on. So the show is about half over, and we haven't asked any questions of the audience yet. I feel guilty about that.
Well, do it. Go.
Audience, you want to ask any questions? No? Do you guys want to answer questions from the audience?
Yeah.
Alex and Mike?
Absolutely. We like questions
good.
from the audience. Are our favorite kinds of questions.
Oh, good. Cookie Army Leader wants to know why are there no Bishop games on Xbox Live? You guys were just talking about this. But feel free to give a full answer on that. Don't let me cut you off.
Do you want to, or shall I?
Why don't you do this one?
I'll do this one. Who's this Cookie Master?
This is the Cookie Army Leader.
The Cookie Army Leader, dude.
Uh-huh.
So Cookie Army Leader, here's the reason, is Microsoft won't really allow it because the games were on the Wii first. So we tried. Sorry.
I've heard a lot of things about Microsoft. I don't want to get you guys in trouble with any publishers, but I'll just tell you what I've heard is that... Huh?
We think they're great.
Actually, I have to say, I really do like Microsoft, and I play my 360 more than any other system ever. And if their policy is that they won't allow our games on their system because they run the Wii, that's their policy. We can't do anything about it. But new games, we will definitely bring to the 360 because we
like future Legend of the Rhythm Alien, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Did I do that right?
I think you did.
I've heard that Microsoft can be very difficult in terms of. I've heard the people there are great, but their policies can be really difficult for indies to work with, and that WiiWare is actually the easiest to get on and the most kind of policy-free, but at the same time, because the service doesn't actually have anyone buying games on it, that you don't make any money. That's what I've always heard. Feel free to comment on that or not.
Well,
I don't
we
mind.
don't make any money on WiiWare. I mean, our company is here, and
We're still alive.
we're still alive, and we've grown to a 9-person team. So, I think that, I'm not driving a Lamborghini, but the thing is I also, it's like for me, the whole thing with making games is so people can play them. That's like why I make video games. And if there's not a good distribution channel for that, then I'm doing the wrong thing as a video game developer. Like, I want to make sure everyone has a chance to play the game. And
Yeah.
I want a Lamborghini.
That's why I feel weird about Xbox Live. The fact that they don't want everyone to play those games. They've got that kind of strict exclusive policy. It makes me kind of sad about them. I don't think PSN has that, but I've heard they can be a little bit too choosy and snooty.
They can.
That's what I heard.
They have they also have a nice collection of games on their service.
Oh, absolutely. There's some great games on PSN.
They're not putting out a lot of pet your dog video games or build a marshmallow castle.
They don't do a lot of poop stinkers. They tend to do a lot more artsy fartsy kinds of things, which I definitely appreciate. When I go to play games, I like to play something new and kind of unique and challenging on the brain grapes. So
Right.
it's really good for
I
that.
feel like that's part of our age. We're all kind of close to the same age. I think you're a little younger, right, Mike? Aren't you like 23?
How old are you?
I'm 35 years young.
I'm gonna be
It feels great.
37.
And I'm going to be 38.
Really?
Yeah.
You look much younger.
I exfoliate.
But
That's why you think I look younger than you.
Mm-hmm. I exfoliate too, but I
But-
know you didn't say I look young, so.
I'm
Can
not
you put your pores real close to the camera? Let's all do a pore comparison.
Look at that. I'm
All right. Now you.
Look at my. No. Watch this.
Hi.
Do this one.
Nobody can tell at this resolution, guys.
Oh, we thought we'd give it a try as soon as
I want to
started.
answer
You
this
can't blame us.
question by X Milky Warrior X.
Ex-Mikey Warrior.
Yeah, do it.
Mike, not Milk.
So, what is your favorite kind of cheese?
Oh shit, I have an answer for this too.
I don't want us all to answer because this is a fun one.
This is an important question, actually. This is going to help to determine whether we are experts or not.
or whether we're going to make a next game. This is the most important question here.
Mike Roush, what is your favorite kind of cheese?
I like feta cheese.
Feta is a good cheese, though it is a tad salty for my taste.
I'm sitting here with Alex.
I'll take-
Alex, what's your favorite kind of cheese?
My favorite kind of cheese so far, I found this cheese. It is a cheddar with caramelized onions in it.
Oh, I've had this.
Oh my god.
Whoa.
It's good.
It freaks
Whoa.
me out.
All right, your turn, John.
I'll take a Swiss.
A Swiss cheese. A Swiss.
Yeah, it's a little bit tangy.
I hope
Not
that,
too much tangy.
I hope that answered it for Mikey Warrior. X.
You did it. Whoa, LaFay wants to know, where do you see rhythm games going from here? They have seemed to decline since the glory days of Rock Band Guitar Hero. Is the fad essentially over? It's funny you should ask that. I was just hanging around with a Harmonix employee, sorry, camera, who was the former editor-in-chief of Dtoid, and now he works at Harmonix, and he's told me they have a lot of games coming out that are really good. So I don't see rhythm games as in decline, but I do think they could use an overhaul in general. What do you guys think?
I think they could use a jumper cable to the butt. I have to say, Lufay, that's a good question, but I have to say that I do not believe that that was the glory days of rhythm music games. I think Parappa and the like was the glory days of rhythm games. Because
Guitar Man.
And Guitaru Man, yeah. And there were so many rhythm music games before Rock Band, and Rock Band, as good as it is, just completely like destroyed that style of rhythm music game. And that's a bummer. So Rock Band, to me, while a great game and a lot of fun, isn't what I mean, obviously I would call it a rhythm music game because it is, but it's not what I look for in a rhythm music game.
Well, it's not your version of a rhythm music game.
Yeah, like
Whereas it's probably LaFay's.
And it may be LaFay's. And I want like more original stories and original songs and weird nonsense. Rather than...
You know what's one of the... Not to cut you off, but let me ask you. I want to extrapolate on your point. Because you know I love Parappa, and I'm Jamie Lammy a lot too. And I recently had to review Rhythm Heaven Fever. I don't know if you guys have played that yet.
I haven't played it.
Yeah,
I think you'll like it. Maybe I can send you a copy. It is almost my favorite my favorite rhythm action game. But what it's missing, and it's something that the Bit Trip series has too, is some allowance for improvisation. Like if you remember in Jammer Lammy, you have to follow the sheet music like you would in Rock Band. But if you go off the sheet music and like take risks and guess what the audience likes to hear, which is what playing real music. There's a lot of that, a lot of improvisation and having to try to read the audience, which in this case is just like a random AI that's on the disc. You can suddenly fly through the air and shoot rainbows out of your butt.
Ooh, wow, that's awesome. That is always
Jammer Lammy?
a good.
That was
video
like my
game.
Saturday night.
Yeah, so I want more improvisation in rhythm games. That's something that I didn't get in Rock Band or Guitar Hero at all. It's stay to the sheet music or else you suck.
You rapping cool. That's what you want.
Yeah, that's exactly what I want.
Yeah, you rapping cool. And Groove Coaster does it too with the ad lib. You can do ad lib.
Yeah, Groove Coaster's pretty good. I think it's undergraded. That's the Space Invaders themed one from Taito, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Do you want to answer this one?
Oh, there's one.
Or
Yeah.
did you?
So can you ask that question so it seems official?
Yeah.
Oh, sure. I'd love to ask it. And it goes along with our theme, which is, how to reinvent or recreate video games.
He's got another question for us.
Yeah. Osifrat Krat asks, would you guys be interested in making a Bit Trip RPG? Also, any Android love?
So we would be very interested in making a Bit Trip RPG. We talk about it a lot.
We do.
There might be a possibility that we form a smaller 3-person team to continue doing Bit Trippy type stuff in the future. And if that was going to happen, it would most likely be an RPG. And
Wow.
any Android love, we're kind of just like snobby Mac dudes.
Yeah.
I don't really like the Android. My girlfriend had one, and I bought her an iPhone. So, but also it's difficult to deal with Android.
Yeah, I think I'm not as snobby Mac lovey guy as Mike is, but that's also kind of bullshit because I don't have an Android and I would rather own all Apple products anyway. But I think it really just comes down to like what you said. It's like a little hard.
Just way more difficult.
It's a more difficult.
Our studio isn't set up for it.
Yeah.
Right. You said earlier that you'd like to have your games on all platforms if you could, but it's not as simple as that.
Everything except Android. Thanks.
So how would a bit trip Archie, the core of bit trip to me is what I was saying before, the visuals, having a direct link to how the game feels and also how the game sounds, and they all kind of bounce off each other. Menage a trois, I believe you called it earlier. How would you do that in RPG?
God, that's a good question.
So you're still figuring that out. Would you try to do that though? Would you try to keep it rhythmic?
I think we
might. What? I don't know if we would.
I kind of think that any bit trip game that we make would have to be a rhythm music game of some kind. I don't know how we do it in an RPG, but you could get nutty like the Mario and Luigi Superstar Saga style, where you have the actions that you can do in the middle of your combat, and that could all be musical, and it could be like this dance. It could be
that's a good idea. Did you ever play Bust a Groove 1 and 2 on the PS1?
Are you kidding me?
Yes, we just did that recently, didn't we?
Yeah. And we also played Dance Summit 2001 on the PS2. Bust a Groove. It's crazy.
What?
Yeah.
How did you... What?
We did that right here.
We did it.
No one has that game. I searched all of Japan for that game in 2010. I literally went into every house and every back alley and every maid cafe and every video game shop looking for
I was there one step ahead of you and I got
it. Son of a beeswax.
Got them all.
How was it? I've never played it. How is it?
Not that great.
I don't care. I want it. So for people that don't know, the Bust a Groove games, it's like a fighting game, but it's a rhythm game, and you have to enter an input quickly before the time runs out, and you don't have to do it necessarily on beat. Is that right? Am I getting that right?
You don't have to input the directional things on the beat, but you have to hit the enter button, if you will. It's like the
on beat
circle or the on beat. That you have to do.
Right. So it's kind of like in Final Fantasy VII when Tifa does those Street Fighter motions, except when you press the input button, it has to be on beat. So it feels like kind of a fighting game, dancing game hybrid, and it's really good. That might be good for the Bit Trip RPG. You could rip that one off.
Yeah, let's rip that off.
We like ripping.
We basically are going to rip off anything we can. We need our jobs to be easier.
Yeah.
Yeah, no kidding.
Something like that.
You guys totally just did it. You just started a video game development company.
You know why? Because we were like, fuck this.
That's exactly why. We were like,
we're going to do our own shit.
Yeah. And then we made Pong.
And then we made Pong. Yeah.
So, we're still hoping Atari doesn't wise up to that one. Sue us.
Well, the Pong guy came over and played it, right?
Yes.
He definitely played it.
He did. We have pictures and it was awesome. He said it was great. And we exchanged a few emails and he asked for royalties.
Yeah. And we said no.
Can't blame for asking them.
There.
Yeah.
Yeah, I forgot his name suddenly. Are there more questions in the chat I'm missing? Oh, Cookie Army Leader has another one, I think. Do you guys ever have a feeling over trying to do creative things, but then start feeling a little too creative with the idea?
Are you
answer?
Garlic.
That's what I was thinking.
Ever have a feeling over trying to do creative things, but then start feeling a little too creative?
Can I do it like I'm talking backwards? Do you guys ever have a feeling over trying to do creative things, but then start?
I think they want to know whether your creativity gets away from you sometimes, and you're too much excited about your idea, and then before you know it, it's a crap idea. Kind of like that scene in Adaptation. You ever see that movie with Nicolas Cage?
Yeah.
He's a famous American actor.
We know who he
I've
is.
seen that movie.
I love that.
You know him?
Good movie. It's a very
Yeah, where he's talking about like, and then the sun appears and the earth grows life, and then there's atoms everywhere and it's bursting and the trees are coming out. And then he listens to the idea later and he's like, oh my God, I'm an idiot. You know that part? I love that part.
We struggle with that constantly because Alex and I have more and greater ideas than we have the capability of getting out onto the planet.
Basically, Mike and I think like this. Whoa! And what we're really capable of doing
Is just this.
it's like
Something in that area.
Something like that.
But I mean, it's just a really weird thing because, like, dealing with, you know, the confines of making a game, planning a game, dealing with everything that's involved with a game. It's hard to be. It's like what you said. You can be super creative, but when it's out on paper, it can all change. And I don't know. It's kind of a fucking bummer, really. But you know, I like it.
Man.
I still come back. Dude, did you know that I wanted to be a florist?
You wanted to be a florist?
Yeah, because I wanted to have a super relaxing life.
God,
And
dude.
that is not what my life is.
No.
It is.
You screwed that one up. You missed that.
I know some really tense florists, if that makes you feel any better.
Really?
I know some stressed out, you know, on expensive medications in order to keep their nerves down because, you know, they can't control the flowers. Flowers are growing in the wrong direction. Oh, no, they're not quite the right tint. Oh, I'm the worst florist ever. Somebody fire me. Yeah, I've heard that before. You know, I work in a psychiatric hospital sometimes in my spare time.
Right.
So you've actually
Feels
had
good.
people, florists, snap.
Stressed out florists, dentists, a lot of people from the IRS, very unhappy.
How
Don't
many,
do that job.
how many video game developers?
I have never had a video game developer before, so you guys are the most mentally healthy.
It's
Of
the best
my
job
world.
on earth. When we're
Did you
stressed
guys
out-
want to talk about what?
No, go ahead.
I don't know. I'm confused. I suddenly got scared of something. Oh, this is a good one from Bob the Cat Lol, and this tied into something I think about all the time anyway.
I love Bob.
But it's a nice excuse to bring it up. Bob the Cat Lol asks, if Capcom approached you and gave you a stack of cash and said, here, fix the Mega Man series, would you want to do that? And if so, what kind of game would you want to make? If you had to, like, just pretend I'm Capcom right now and saying, you've got 5 seconds to sell me on your Mega Man game pitch. Go!
Mega Man, the Revengeing.
2.
Oh, good one. Good one, Mike.
Got to throw in the sequel.
I don't know.
I wouldn't want him.
I wouldn't do it.
I wouldn't do it.
I'd hand their cash back.
Me too.
Really?
Or
Now, how come?
I mean, I
Well,
love
what
Mega Man, but sometimes a series needs to just end.
those games are hard anyway.
Whoa. Did you just say you think the Mega Man series should end?
Yep.
Wow.
I
That's
think the Mega
something
Man
that...
series should end, and I think the Resident Evil series should end. And there were some others too. Silent Hill should end.
Star Wars.
Star Wars should end. I think there is a tendency in our culture to continue to do something in a series until that series sucks, and then end it. So why beat the series to death so that everyone is sick of it by the end, and then end it? Why not end it when everyone still loves it?
It's British television versus American.
It's
TV.
exactly what it is.
Yeah, it's The Office versus The Office.
Yes. Very
Yes.
good.
Oh, yeah, I learned it from watching you. But you did that with the Bitrip series, and then you were willing to evolve it a little bit and change it quite a bit. Visually, I would say it's a completely different thing.
Yeah, we are totally not living up to what we just preached.
You are and you aren't, though. I mean, Hey?
We're going to runner it into the ground,
Yeah.
is what he said.
Oh, you... Your jokes. Do you want to talk about video game consoles at all?
Talk about whatever you want to talk about.
related. It's something I'm thinking about a lot lately. It's slightly unrelated, though,
Go.
which is... Huh?
Do it. Go.
Okay, I'm doing it. I'm talking about it. Just as Resident Evil 6 is trying to reinvent Resident Evil in a lot of ways, particularly around the controls. And Revengeance is doing a very different look at what Metal Gear is about, and it's kind of an offshoot. It's not a numbered game of the series, as to keep people from getting too angry about it. Video game consoles try to reinvent themselves all the time too, with PlayStation Vita and the 3DS and the Wii U all coming out. I'm curious, as developers, how you feel about those consoles, all three of them, and how you think they're doing in terms of taking what was good about their predecessors, keeping the core of it, if the core is worth keeping. It's questionable that the PlayStation Portable's core wasn't even worth keeping because it didn't sell that well outside of Japan. And but anyway, whether they take the good or the bad from their predecessors and bring it in a better direction. How do you think those three are doing? Let's start with the Vita there. That's coming out.
So we ordered Vitas.
Yeah.
And I'm actually excited. I don't think it's going to do well. Probably won't do well. And I think part of the reason is because it's just big. It's just a big thing. But I don't know. From what I have seen with the Vita, I think they evolved it in a very good direction, and I personally am really looking forward to it.
The thing about portables in general, this is my opinion, tell me what you think. iPhone took the core of what people wanted in portable gaming, or at least what a lot of people wanted in portable gaming, which was a quick time waster that was cheap, because handheld gaming has usually been cheaper than console gaming, and able to be played in 10 or 15 minutes and then be done. iPhone has done that. The App Store has done that in a really solid way that's tough to beat. And people are questioning whether both the Vita and the 3DS can offer something different than that that's just as compelling. I'd like to think that they can, but it is a little bit scary to think about where the future is headed.
I don't think they will. I don't know.
Well, the other thing is, like,
What do you think?
this can do. This does everything for me, and it's smaller than both of those consoles. I mean, it's like,
And it looks better.
and it looks
It's prettier.
better. It feels good. The only thing is you don't have, a D-pad.
Which I miss. So
Which I miss as well.
Yeah, we both miss. So it's like I don't like to play games too much on my iPhone, but I do, and that it kind of disappoints me about myself because I am drawn more towards like standard or classical games, I guess. So something I would think that I would be really excited about the Vita and the 3DS, but in reality, they're like big and clunky and. I don't know, man. I think that the Vita is going to tank. I hope it doesn't because, like, we have one, right? Because we're probably going to develop something for it, and I think it's got a lot of potential. I just don't think that developers are going to use that potential.
The other thing, is, the fucking 3DS, it's always dead. My 3DS is always dead. And it's like, it drives me insane.
Yeah, the
It's
battery's
like,
kind of a pooper
it
skipper.
freaks me out. And so I'll pick it up. I'll just be like, I'm going to play something rad.
You know what battery is never dead?
And this can charge in literally to 100% in like 15 minutes with the right charge.
Wow.
And it's like,
So these are the bummers.
but we don't,
Yeah.
we don't love this per se. It's just easier.
I know, and it's sad to admit
I know. Like
because I do like.
a number 2, if you do a number 2, this is always in your pocket.
Oh, you mean pooping?
Yeah, I'm at 59 in a year.
We're counting
59 poops this year?
Yeah, we're counting.
That's a good amount.
Wait
How,
until you're
how many days into the year are we?
I don't know.
I'm at 94. But I was on a big fiber cleanse for the first 2 months. So it was like a snow fucking one of those.
An avalanche?
No, like
It was like a
shit
snow
avalanche.
hill falling.
Poop. A real human poop.
We also just answered a question. Is someone asked if we were going to develop for Vita, and we are going to try our damnedest to get Runner 2 on the Vita.
Yeah.
Whoa, really?
Yeah.
That's awesome. For whatever reason, and maybe you guys could speak to this, maybe you can't, I'll throw it out there. I reviewed both BitTrip Complete and BitTrip Saga, I think Bit Trip Complete offers more content, so I gave it a higher score. It's just more of good stuff. Yet, when I talk to people about it, I recommend that they buy Complete, and they keep saying, nah, I'm going to get the one on the portable there. I just want it. They want your games on a portable, it seems. I don't know if that's shown true in sales, but that's what people told me.
You can have like a bite-sized experience if you want. I mean, I suppose that Beat, I think it's the longest you have to play through. I think it's like 13 minutes to play through a stage in Beat.
Yeah, it's 12 minutes.
12 minutes, but they're small, bite-sized little fellas.
Yeah, like if you're on a train, you could beat a Bit Trip game while on a train commute somewhere. Like you could play all the way through Void. And
when you say you mean me? Because these games are hard, man.
well, they're hard. I guess if you're not a total sucker, you can beat them on a train commute. You can have fun.
I might be able to beat Fate on the train, but that last boss is killer. That's a tough boss. So you're saying that people want, when they play a console game, they don't want a bite-sized experience. Personally, I do, because I need small periods of time playing video games all the time, because otherwise I'm monopolizing my TV for hours on end, or just not getting any work done. Which brings me to the Wii U, whether you guys think that is going to take what made the Wii so successful and evolve it, or whether they're going to lose people in the process of transitioning from the Wii to the Wii U. I don't know if you can speak to that, but I'm very curious about what you might have.
I don't think they'll lose anyone.
You don't think so?
No, I don't think so. Whether they gain people or not, I don't know. From what we've seen so far with our Wii U at the office, is that it definitely has a lot of potential and a lot of improvements from the Wii. But again, I have to say, it's a double-edged sword. Nintendo keeps doing this stuff where they do something brand new and kind of revolutionary, like with the big pad, and the big crazy controller. Now, on one hand, that is completely awesome. On the other hand, nobody's going to want to develop for the Wii U because they can't do cross-platform and have the same game on all the consoles, because now they have to do something special for the Wii U. So, from a developer's perspective, I'm sitting here and I'm like, well, yes, it is an awesome feature, but it's more work for us to use it.
So then the developer ends up making some stupid, ludicrous bullshit to put on the peripheral.
Or half-assing for it.
And it's always a half-ass. It's always something. And that is, that's most likely why Nintendo is, has the best games on their own, platform.
Right, because they're cross-platform.
They don't half-ass it.
And they don't half-ass it.
Yeah.
Well, speaking as a consumer, I can tell you that I will be happy enough if I get a really good game on the Wii U that I can simply take from my TV screen, put it on my controller, so my significant other can watch Downtown Abbey or whatever the hell that show's called, and I can keep playing video games. That's all the feature I want. Grab it from the TV, put it on the controller, I'm all set. I don't expect to be able to throw batarangs off my controller or, yell into it or whatever if it has a microphone. I'm satisfied with just the core concept there, which is you don't have to play your home console quality games on your TV anymore.
I hope that works well, and I hope it's cool, because I want that too.
Are you going to get a Vita?
Yeah, I'm going to buy one. I'm excited for the same reasons I talked about the Wii U. I'm excited about the Vita and its capacity to play PlayStation 3 games that I've wanted to get through. I still haven't beaten Valkyria Chronicles. I can never pronounce that right. Just because I don't have the time sync time on my TV for the most part to play through it. So with a Vita, if that has that feature where I can pull it off the TV and put it on the console, I will do it. And I want the new Katamari game because...
Touch my Katamari!
Touch my Katamari.
Even I don't know how they get away with it. They just will put out the exact same game, and I will buy it every time. And I haven't enjoyed one as much as I have since We Heart Katamari. That's my favorite. But I still get my money's worth. I still enjoy just that exact same feeling over and over again.
So
it's that core gameplay. It's worthwhile to me every time.
There's one thing that I was going to say too. It's like with the 3DS and the Vita, if developers were pumping out tons of amazing games for them, then I think people would buy more Vitas and 3DSs.
I do too. I don't think it's Sony or Nintendo who are to blame here. I think those systems could be awesome if people made awesome games for them. Like,
How much do you think the 99-cent app is hurting that? Oh, yes, Industar?
That's hurting.
Oh.
That has just outright hurt us.
Yeah.
The 99-cent app has, and I mean, I'm not talking about our games on iPhone, but we have seen, like, people don't want to buy a $10 game. They want to buy a 99-cent game, even on Steam, anywhere.
and if it's $2, they complain. And I'm sorry, the same people who will complain about spending $2 on a video game will throw $2 away at Starbucks on some fucking bullshit drink that's going to be gone in 5 minutes.
Or they'll cram a fucking yucky old McDonald's hamburger down their fat face and then just sit there online just like, fucking too much for your game.
Yeah, $2 waste of money, 1 star.
Yeah, fucking assholes.
And I'm sorry, man. If you're complaining about $2 for a video game that you're going to play for hours, something is wrong with you, man.
And women made, and they put their fucking hard life into. Oh God, people drive me nuts.
The 99-cent thing is pretty much the worst thing to happen to the video game industry for a long time, I think.
Although I love it because I have so many games.
Yeah, that's true. I do too.
Suckers. I've spent 99 cents. I'll wake up in the middle of the night and just sit there buying 99-cent games like a little fucking squirrel hiding little games away for later.
He's like a game squirrel.
It's so creepy.
You know, I think the way to counter the 99-cent game problem is what Tim Schafer is doing on Kickstarter. I've been talking about this for a couple of weeks. To let the consumer start at 99 cents if they want, but then pay as much as they want. I'm doing that with that stupid rock and roll album I made, the Talking to Women About Video Games album. I think it's, for a while it was 99 cents. It's usually $2.99. People just give me $20 for that thing.
Yeah.
I have no idea why. They just want to. And I think that would work for your guys' games too.
Well, we had a different...
Oh, go ahead.
I was going to say, we had a different approach. We were going to do the $99 game. It's kind of the same idea.
Yeah.
But it's better for us.
Pay what we want.
That would be better for you. But when people love the creator, and for whatever reason, I take it as a sign of love if people give me $20 when they could have given me $2.99. There's no other reason to do that other than they actively want to make me feel better than I have to. People, your fans are rabidly in love with you. They yell at me about how much they love you. They tell me that they love you more than me and that I should shut up so they can have more time with you alone. I mean, they love you guys hard. They would give you a lot of money.
We stalk our own fans, which is interesting. We've switched it around on them. So we actually search through Facebook and look at their pictures of their family and then send them anonymous emails.
And you'd be surprised, after a couple of threats,
It's weird.
yeah, they're fans.
Give them free games.
We've got 2 minutes left. I want to get your final thoughts, so I'm going to show you something weird I discovered today.
All right.
Oh, I hope it's...
It's not that good. But do you have any final thoughts on the topic that we talked about, which was reinventing your video game series or your consoles? Or do you just have any final thoughts about anything at all? Anything you want the world to know? Now's your chance. Tell them.
Every video game developer should make amazing games, and if it's a good game, it's a good game, period, even if it's called Revengeance. Next.
I think that you can't skin a cat the same way you used to.
There's more than one way to skin a cat, I've been told.
Yes,
Yeah, but they've been used up.
but they've been used up.
Did you guys know that Yoda is obviously a Skrull?
I did know that.
Yeah.
Jesus Christ! I had no idea. I was making pancakes this morning, just looking at my way too large Mighty Mug collection. It's the same fucking dude, guys. It's nuts.
What kind of pancakes?
What kind of pancakes?
I was putting some butternut in there.
Butternut?
Wow.
Yeah, butternut pancakes. Why not?
That's awesome.
That sounds
Yeah,
good.
I can't see why I shouldn't do it.
No, you should definitely do it.
So
A la mode.
everyone should go to runner2.com
Yeah, follow our dev blog. We're going to start getting wacky on there.
Yeah, things are changing up very quickly. So
that's our plug.
that's our one plug.
Runner2.com. It's a great website.
Runner
Good
2.
stuff on there.
Yeah.
I think I got on there once.
He may not have gotten on there because he says it's great, but he doesn't say it with a lot of confidence.
30 seconds.
30 seconds.
30 seconds.
Your final thoughts.
My final thoughts. I hope you guys keep making really good games and staying true to your instincts, because that's all, based on what you said, your instincts are all you guys really need to make good video games. You're just naturals at it. You son of a bitch.
So are we experts at the end of this?
Yeah! I'm really kind of upset about it, to be honest. Because not everyone's instincts just cause them to be huge successes. But yours do, you lucky son of a bitch.
You're too kind.
You're too kind, and it's not true.
And he's
It's
only
true.
saying it because the time is up.
Yes, that's right.
No, it's true! You're much better than other human beings. It's not fair, really.
We
Oh well.